It's a welcome everyone to the Horrorcast episode 39. I am your host Matrix Lord 212, and I am with John. What's up, John?
Not much.
What's up, Mike D?
What's happening?
All right, so I had the hat on, but I just got out of the shower and my hair's all wet, and I'm getting all my wetness in the hat. As tradition, I usually wear this on St. Patty's Day. We're gonna have to do it on another cast, let my hair will dry a little bit. But this is my hat, obviously. All right, I did it yesterday. Now, I want to get back into Friday the 13th. I didn't even comb my hair. Now, we had this huge discussion, me and Mike D yesterday, and everybody else, about...
And you're here to admit that Jason is a zombie. I'm so
No, he's not, but
no.
I still won't.
Okay.
But, I just want to show off. Look at the detail to this guy.
That's a fine-looking zombie specimen.
No, it's not a zombie.
It's a zombie with a hockey mask.
Okay.
Yeah, that looks cool.
That is pretty. This is like a snow globe. Originally it was red, but some reason it turned white. I don't know why, but this is pretty old. I had, and it cost me a lot of money back in the day. But yeah, this is pretty awesome. You can even see his arm.
Do you have that on the shelf next to Tom Baker, terrifying?
Yes. Okay. He is on. Now, unfortunately, in the move, the machete got a little bit messed up, but I'm gonna get another one eventually.
I didn't even notice that. But that kind of looks like part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I had, the little guys, the bobbleheads, which is pretty cool. Okay, and then we had...
He's blue.
Wow.
Freddy.
Yeah, and they're like facing off. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zombie Jason versus Phantom Freddy.
He is not a zombie, okay? He even says, no, I'm not. See?
Well, tell him Kane Hodder, who portrayed him in the films, told me he was a zombie, so...
We gotta get Kane Hodder on here.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool.
Uh,
What do you think, John? You're hearing us talk forever.
yeah.
We need to get Kane Hodder.
I was seeing one of these Jason Snow Globes on eBay. Only $277. Buy it now. So there you go.
Only $277. Look at that.
Yeah, exactly. And there's there's a Jason Snow Globe on Amazon. I'm seeing it's only $174. So
this is the expensive one.
yeah, well you can't even get that one on Amazon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, my limited edition Halloween bust would kick the shit out of Jason, so with the pumpkin. Yeah, John's seen it. They did a great job.
Yeah, it is good. I don't know what I can add to the conversation. I mean, it was pretty. You guys pretty much debated it.
Well, I mean, what do you think? I mean, if you had to lean I'm not saying Jason has always been a zombie, but I mean, he very clearly became the undead at a certain.
I could go along with that. That he wasn't.
That was my whole argument.
But no. But even after 6, to me, certain things, elements, I can't really commit to 100% zombie. I just can't.
Yeah. I mean, in my view, yeah. I mean, it's of course in the early, the first, 5 films, first 4 films, of course, Jason was alive. And then the 6th film, he's obviously a reanimated corpse, which is the textbook definition of a zombie. Like in Stuart Gordon's Reanimator, Dr. Hilly's dead. They're revived corpses. I mean, zombies are not not defined by the fact that they eat flesh, or that there can be many different types of these fictional characters that have different characteristics. So. In a sense, yeah, I mean, I can understand where you're coming from, the fact that he's regenerated and that there's some continuity flaws where how can this corpse who's been long dead have, eyeballs and such, and but at the same time, he does kind of meet what you would call the legal definition of zombiehood in Part 6 and beyond. And
I think what happened was that after Part 6 especially, they kind of got stuck because in deciding, well, what do we have? Do we have like a rotting corpse that's been reanimated, or do we have like some sort of supernaturally rejuvenated whatever? My only thing that I was trying to argue last night, rather successfully, by the way, is that in that film he's very clearly a zombie. He's been reanimated, and in that particular film, I think because even when I was a kid watching Part 6. He very clearly is in a coffin. He's rotting. His cobwebs, his rib cage is exposed. His eye sockets are empty. But they needed something to indicate to the audience that Jason was coming back to life. So the way to do that is they had him open his eyelids and show his eyeballs, which makes no sense at all. Because obviously, if he's been in the ground rotting, he's not going to have eyelids. He's not going to have eyeballs.
That's it. He didn't have eyeballs because if you looked at it closely, he didn't. It just was gone because it's been many years.
But they had to. They had to indicate.
But that's the whole point. They had to use that.
They had to use that to indicate to the audience that Jason was still alive. You know.
The thing is that noise when the lightning bolt hit the grave, and it was making all those weird noises. What's up, Brian?
Hi.
Hi. We're talking about Jason Voorhees. You ever watch the movies?
Yes, I have.
Okay. When the lightning bolt.
How many have you seen, Brian?
Yeah.
All of them.
Okay, Brian. Question for you. All right. Jason Voorhees, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Is he a zombie?
Hello.
In the first 4 he isn't, but when he came back in number 6 he is.
All right. So
you walked into that one.
Yeah, well, listen, I respect his honesty. But Brian, how could he be a zombie if in Freddy vs. Jason he has like emotions, he has like trauma, he has like he's scared of drowning, he's reliving stuff. I mean, isn't a definition of a zombie? Besides the fact of the reanimated part, which we could dispute that also because, with other things. But how could he be
Because Dr. Hill still exhibited lust for Barbara Crampton's character, and he very clearly was a reanimated corpse.
Yeah, and I mean, after I think Jason Takes Manhattan, it's fuck all, who cares? I mean, he's a fucking...
Right, I agree with that. I agree with that because steampunk. What's up?
AmberStreet.com.
I have no idea what we're talking
AmberStreet.com. AmberStreet.com.
Yeah, don't go down.
Too.
Don't go down on Amber Street. I hear it's a rough neighborhood. There's a lot of hookers.
No. Wait a minute.
on Amber Street.
Yeah.
Kane.
the website is named after a street I used to live on.
Kane Hodder is Jason.
Thank you, but pretty cool, right, Brian?
There's nobody else. There's nobody else that is...
Oh, it's that zombie. It's that zombie, Jason.
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
You're a reanimated corpse, Chris. You are.
Joe's showing us his zombie Jason collection.
Right. Now, again, I think the problem that they...
George Romero should direct the next Jason Friday the 13th movie.
You think so?
And, just in defense of Joe, this is an argument that not only Joe has brought up, this is kind of an argument I've seen off and on over the years because Jason gets reanimated. Is he, at what point does he stop becoming living? Does he become is he really a zombie, or what is that definition? So, I mean...
Undead of some sort.
Undead of some sort. Undead of some sort. I think we all agree on that.
It's like an undead corpse in the 6th one.
Right. Well, you can't say that Michael Myers. Michael Myers is undead.
Like he's an undead corpse, like within the 6th one, all the way up to Jason Goes to Hell, and
I don't count any of that crap with Jason Goes to Hell and Jason 10 and Jason versus Freddy.
Yeah, but they count.
I know that, but. Now they won't because they're back in Paramount.
And now he's a zombie cyborg in the future.
Well, no, he's not actually, because that timeline could be changed. But anyway.
Well, Michael Myers, technically, we haven't seen him actually expire and die. You know, he's certainly taken wounds that would kill a normal person.
Well, in Resurrection, didn't he?
Let me finish what I'm saying. If he's supernaturally like infused, if you will, by evil, then like he hadn't actually died to fit the technical legal definition of what a zombie would be. So technically he wouldn't be a zombie, but we know Jason has died and been put on the slab, so we can say he's a zombie.
But he has been injected with reanimation type juice in Halloween 6, Michael Myers, which is something. And he also was in a body bag, dead in Resurrection. He was badly burned or whatever.
Yeah, but he woke up. He woke up at the very last scene.
George Romero should direct the next Michael Myers movie.
George Romero shouldn't direct anything anymore.
George Romero should direct the Steampunk Adventures of Chris.
Yeah, I'd see that.
Okay. I would I've actually.
In your world, everybody's a zombie but you.
They could remake. They could remake that movie They Live, John Carpenter's They Live with Chris.
I'm going to kick ass and shoot Bumblebee.
Fair enough. Well, you know, I don't mind being considered post-human or a zombie, but I wouldn't say everybody's a zombie.
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, I met George Romero at DragonCon 2006. Very nice guy. But that's another story for another day. I got to talk to him for like 10 minutes. I had a whole conversation with George Romero.
After the Freddy vs. Jason, they cut his fingers off. They cut his arm off. They had to reboot it because they never explained him growing it back. So you had him with no hand and then no arm, and then it's like he's basically done. I mean, unless you really explain. He's like a healing factor like Wolverine or something, but it's very slow scale. So they had to reboot it because he lost so many body parts that it's done.
Maybe he's not a reanimated corpse. Maybe he's a reanimated tree.
A what?
You know, reanimated tree. You know, like Swamp Thing. You know, he's like growing
a reanimated tree.
For a second, I was like, oh my god, Alex Jones. He's a reanimated.
Alex Jones.
He's a reptilian.
He's a truther.
I can tell you one thing I know, damn it. Jason is a member of the Illuminati. You can take that to the bank.
Yes.
He didn't say much, but...
Well, that's why he's a member. He keeps his mouth shut.
Right.
That's where they have that Bohemian Grove ritual out there. It's at Camp Blood. Yeah, they send Alex Jones out there to infiltrate Camp Blood when they're having the Bohemian Grove.
Right. Well, I want to give you some... Brian.
Well,
before I go into detail, Brian, I want you to tell us what your favorite Friday the 13th movie was and your most hated Friday the 13th movies.
Like, what do you mean? Like, just one favorite?
What sucked and what didn't suck?
Yeah, but like, do you mean like one?
What was the best? What was the best and what was the worst for you? Which movie was your favorite? Like #1 movie of the genre. What was the worst of the genre?
I'm saying like one favorite or a few favorites.
All right, I'll make it. I'll make it easier. I'll make it easier. Ready?
How about pick one?
Wait. No, I'll make it better. Right?
It's sickness.
The first Friday the 13th movie. Friday the 13th. Yay or nay?
Yay.
Why?
Because it's a classic.
Why? Why did you like it?
Because I do.
Why? What made it like up to Brian's like top Friday the 13th movies? Like what made you say, hey, I could watch this movie over and over and over again?
Dude, Brian would be the best guy to pull off a crime because he would hold up under interrogation.
Oh,
he wouldn't say anything.
He dropped out.
He's like Kaiser Soze. He's like Kaiser Soze. Just when you thought you have him, he's gone.
Okay. When he comes back, before he comes back, because he's having technical difficulties, we're going to go into some box office numbers of the Friday the 13th franchise. The first Friday the 13th in 1980, they don't tell you how much it cost to make the movie, which is very interesting. I don't know why. It made $39,754,601. Okay. Obviously, it was a success because it went right into the next one, which the next one made $21,722,776. Again,
almost half as much as the first one.
And how much? How much
this is in the 80s. They didn't say. They would not reveal that information, but I can bet you it costs like thousands, maybe a million, maybe not even a million, because back then that's the 80s. Okay, so we have movies like The Conjuring, or movies that they have a budget of $3 million, and it makes like $100 million or $20 million or $50 million even, and it's a success. Back then, the budget was a lot less and made a lot more.
Daniel's in.
One thing to keep in mind about these films is that these were done as non-union films. These were apart from Paramount. So they were kind of like Paramount's little dirty secret. They made a hell of a lot of money. They didn't pay people a lot, and they were just kind of pickups. They're like, oh, you know, they're just kind of, oh, these little films made by these other guys. You know, they kind of financed indirectly, you know.
Oh, that explains the varying quality of TNA in the films.
No, it was just it had to have the right quotient of sex and violence, and you know, that was it. That was just another ingredient.
Right. But
what the hell is going on there?
That's a tribble.
Oh my God.
There's a dog humping the bed.
Brian.
What?
Okay. I was asking you a question. Was it that his mother was the killer in the first one? That was interesting?
Kill her, Mommy!
Kill her, Mommy! Kill her! Get her, Mommy! Get her! No place to hide. No, honestly. What?
Hold on. I'm still here. I'm just getting something.
Fuck is that?
That is a... I don't know. I think that's a bottled water. I'm going to say bottled water for $1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's a covered-up fleshlight.
Okay. Hey, Daniel.
Hi.
How you doing, bro? We are talking about Friday the 13th. This is our HorrorCast Friday the 13th edition.
He doesn't like them.
So why is he on here?
It rubs the lotion on its skin.
I was showing my other face. This is my other
Brian,
face.
you invited Daniel.
Hi.
I thought Chris was trying
practicing for another position.
I
was playing with the optical illusion and the reflection.
I say,
Chris was trying to imitate one of our doctor friends from one of our shows.
I see.
Mark Strickson.
Here we go.
Where it's like this.
Yeah, I want to just
guys. What's that, Daniel?
He's got it.
I want
What, Daniel?
I want a Jason X part. I want a Jason X part 2.
Want Jason X part 2?
Yes. Yeah, I think that would be awesome.
Okay.
Let's ask Daniel. Let's ask Daniel about the Friday the 13th series.
You take the floor, Mike D, because maybe they'll answer some questions with you.
Yeah, Daniel, what are your favorite Friday the 13th films, man? Tell us some of your memories of watching this series. We've been sharing them since last night. We were talking about it.
Just go for these ones. This is all you need to know.
Jason,
This is all you need to know about Friday the 13th movies.
I'm gonna need some Thorazine to get control of this podcast.
I'm sorry, again. Brian,
oh my God,
Mike D is hosting right now, so let him.
Well, I mean, I wasn't trying to host. I'm just saying I was curious. I wanted to ask Daniel because we've been talking about Friday the 13th since last night, and with Daniel being the new guy on the cast here, tonight. We haven't really heard. I've never really heard him share his thoughts on Friday the 13th, so I was going to ask him about.
You have the floor.
All right.
He likes.
Are you a fan of Friday the 13th, Daniel?
He likes
Yeah.
Michael
I like
Myers and Jason.
I mean, do you like? What's the pecking order? Do we have like Jason, Michael Myers, Leatherface, Freddy? I mean, where does Jason come into that?
Like, huh? Could you say it again?
Where does Jason come in the pecking order of the movie maniac, so to speak? What do you think? Michael Myers? You think Michael Myers could take Jason, or you think Jason takes Freddy?
Jason's a zombie. Michael Myers is alive.
Well, there you go. There's another zombie vote. We were having a big debate about whether Jason was a zombie, and everyone but Joe knows he's a zombie, apparently.
Well, wait a minute, Mike D. Before you could ask him if he's a zombie or not, ask him how many Friday the 13th movies he saw. So there you go.
All right. Yeah, that's a good point. How many have you seen? Well, I asked him if he was a big fan. He said yeah, so I'm assuming that he's seen them if he's a fan, but...
No, he doesn't like them. You never saw them before.
Friday the 13th Part 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the one where the psychic girl was in, I didn't watch that because, it was just too supernatural for me, but, I watched most of them.
Okay.
I watched 5. I didn't like 5.
You told me you never saw them before.
Yeah, I saw them.
Well, Daniel was telling us something about making a sequel to Jason X. Were you a fan of that?
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I thought it was a little campy. Shut up.
There was a...
Well, that was
Okay, hold on.
That's what's so
Everybody's
great.
going to be muted. Everybody's going to be muted because it's not fair that Mike D's trying to answer questions to one person and everybody's jumping in. So everybody's going to mute, including myself, and I'm going to mute you if you don't mute, except for Daniel and Mike D. So there you go.
Oh, so anyways, I was asking you about Jason X, Daniel. I wanted to get your thoughts on you. You're a fan of that film, so I was curious, what your thoughts were on doing a sequel to that specifically. Do you think that's the direction that they should take in the new films going forward, or do you think that maybe that they were trying to kind of test a new idea and float a new idea out there by putting him in space, and maybe they should move on to something else with that?
Oh, well, I think there's a possibility that they can do a Jason X. I read a book where it was supposed to be a sequel to Jason X, where how the mask fell into the new Crystal Lake on Earth 2. Well, the nanites, there was some DNA left behind the mask. There was some blood and stuff behind the metal mask. Anyways, there was supposed to be nanites behind the mask somehow, and they were supposed to replicate his body. They were supposed to replicate his entire body from that little bit of blood, or all that blood. I don't know how much blood there was behind that mask, but the nanites replicated his body, and Jason X would have arose from the lake and just started killing some more.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
So was it the sci-fi part of Jason X that it really intrigued you, or are you a big horror fan? And because
I like Jason X because he's so powerful. I mean, did you see what he was doing on the space station? He was just knocking down those big metal doors. He wouldn't be able to do that in his regular form. So he was super powerful. I really appreciated that. I was kind of hoping they would make a sequel, but they didn't. They could.
No, what was the first one in the series that you saw? Was that it, Jason X?
Actually, it was Friday the 13th. That was the first one.
Now, wait, you mean the reboot in 2009, or the one from back in 1980, the original?
Yeah, the 1980. That was good.
Yeah, did that surprise you when you found out that was Jason's mom rather than Jason doing the killing in that?
No, I didn't really think about it.
No, okay. Because I know a lot of people, the reason I'm asking is, a lot of people know the Friday the 13th franchise is known for Jason, of course, and a lot of times they'll go back after seeing some of the other Friday the 13th films, and they expect to see Jason in this, and it's all of a sudden there's no Jason in this, and it's Jason's mom, so they get a little bit skeeved out over that, so.
Yeah.
So what would you say your favorite of the I guess the classic Paramount years would be? Would it be the first, or?
The first has a special place in my heart. That was really good. The second one was good too. Didn't like them as as much. And then I watched Jason X, and then Freddy. Well, I was waiting for a sequel to that, but I don't think it's coming. There were rumors that it was coming, like in 2015, but those were just rumors.
Okay. All right. That's cool. Now, see, I didn't know Daniel was a fan of Friday the 13th.
There you go. And I can't ask Brian anything because he's sleeping at the moment, and I am not going to inject him. Oh, he's awake. He just reanimated himself. He's a zombie.
Well, not technically because he didn't actually die. He was just asleep. So
Right.
Wow.
therefore, he wouldn't be a zombie.
It's the Brian hour. Go, Brian.
Yeah.
The 2009 one, they don't consider it a remake. They just consider it an ordinary Jason movie. Go ahead and killing people.
It's not considered a reboot, you're saying?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
The 2009 one?
Yeah. That's what
I mean, it was basically 1, 2, and 3 in one movie.
Yeah, they
Basically.
kind of did a weird amalgamation of
Mix-mash.
all
Yeah. Recap at the beginning of the film where it's kind of like the beginning, and they got the Jason's mother.
Like Evil Dead and Evil Dead 2, kind of.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
they did. Well, then you had like Potato Sack Jason, and then you had like Hockey Mask Jason. So it's like the first 3 films, just kind of like, a super greatest hits album of all that.
I like Potato Sack Jason,
I did too. I like.
I thought it was
Complete
funky.
rip-off of Town of the Dread Sundown, albeit. Part 2 is really a big rip-off of Town of the Dread Sundown, guys. I don't know if you guys have seen that, but it's got the Phantom Killer in it. Potato Sack begins exactly the same way as Part 2.
Well, I think that we need to review that, then.
Well, you know that this idea, which has all 4 films, the first 4 films are basically all in one, like one day, a day after a day at a time.
Yeah.
They go. It's like 24 in a sense. It's like in real time.
Well, they
They're
pick
not,
up
they're not in a day after.
Yeah, but it still goes ahead.
No, but it's from 1 to 2. It's like what is it, like 2 years later or a year later?
No, it's
Yeah.
not.
Yes, it is actually. Yes,
Yeah.
it is actually because he's walking in the beginning.
No, I mean not like the first one. I mean like the ones that have Jason at the beginning, like 2, 3, and 4.
2 and 3. There was some time that passed.
Not really, not that much.
Mike D.
Actually, I was thinking at the moment you referenced my name there, I was thinking of I thought it was quite funny how they paid homage to like the Bond franchise and the one Friday the 13th where they
Yes,
Jason
6
come out and,
I was just telling Sharon that.
yeah, how he comes out and slashes the screen. Yeah, I thought that was
actually
quite.
love that. I love that. Pretty cool. And I like it how everyone was a different camp, not necessarily Crystal Lake, until the 6th one, actually.
Wouldn't you think after a while they just shut down every damn camp in that area?
Yeah, you would think so, right?
I mean, would this be like a national emergency going on here with this?
And the
when
best
they-
is
maybe-
Camp Forest Green, and then the moment Jason started killing again, they said, "Oh, the hell with it. What's the difference?" And they agreed on the Crystal.
I mean, I'll ask you a question. I mean, I know it's a stupid horror film, but I mean, I'm saying if this series, if this were truly going on, what parent would let their kid go to some damn camp where year after year after year, the same killer finds a way of coming back and butchering groups of campers?
And once you send CNN down there, and they would have everybody reporters looking because they jump into volcanoes and basically hurricanes and twisters and looking for the news. So wouldn't they have CNN down there looking for Jason or something?
Well, it might be a conspiracy. Maybe we'll find out in this Jason TV series coming up that there's some sort of intricate conspiracy going on that's an undercurrent of the town, kind of like in Bates Motel.
I heard that the Jason series is going to be on Channel CW.
That's a rumor.
I have a theory. I think the Jason series takes place in a parallel universe, and it's the stupid universe where people are just stupid. Like
that
more
would
stupid.
that would be our current universe we live in.
Well, I mean, but dumber than the current universe, like a little bit more dumbing down, like halfway to Idiocracy. If you guys ever seen Idiocracy, it was a great.
Yes. Love the hat, by the way. Awesome. And the goggles. And the glasses. They're pretty cool, yeah. Anyway, speaking of Idiocracy, they were pretty stupid in that movie, weren't they, Chris? These people. I mean, how many times are you going to, stand there? and 5 minutes, they're just standing there waiting for Jason to basically come and kill them, basically.
I saw a commercial on TV that was paying homage to how stupid a lot of horror movies portray people. Like there was, I can't remember what it was advertising. There's a bunch of scantily clad women, and there's like a guy chasing after them, and then there's like a shed filled with chainsaws, and they were like, I don't know where we should go. Maybe we should go behind. That was a commercial. Yeah, that was a commercial, but it was funny because it was showing how silly, stupid the characters were in these horror movies. Like, nobody with common sense would do that.
Brian, what would you do, Brian? How would they survive? What would you do differently? You do in a new Friday the 13th movie like right now. What would you do? What's the story? Brian.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Daniel.
Dan.
Yeah.
Daniel.
Wait, say that again.
Daniel.
Oh.
How would you write Friday the 13th, Daniel? What would you do in there? What would you put in there?
Oh my God, I don't know. I think I would make it a sequel to for 5. You know, he came back from Manhattan. Yeah, he came back from Manhattan.
Oh, 8?
Just, what?
Sequel to 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he came back from Manhattan. He came back to Crystal Lake after like 20 years, whatever, and then he just kept on doing his thing.
Okay. But wouldn't we need something more than that? Like some new element? Like, to make it like, a little that much extra to make it exciting.
I know a way to spice it up.
Yeah.
Well, we could do parallel timeline.
You'll fight him,
What?
right? You'll fight him.
No.
Why not?
My only superpower is super belch. But basically we could do parallel universes, and there's like a rift in space time, and then you have Jason X versus zombie Jason.
So you're talking
and then they clone his
first.
Yeah, then you could have clones of Jason. There could be like a clone army of Jason.
Resident Evil.
And there could be the cyborg zombie Jason versus the zombie Jason, all in a face-off, in parallels of space-time.
I see.
There'd be a lot of rabies.
So in other words,
lots of rabies in the Sapphire.
So in other words, like the Spider-Man storyline, where all Spider-Man from different reality, the Spider-Verse storyline,
yes.
It would be the Jason-verse. That's what you're saying, basically.
Yeah, it'd be the Jason-verse, and you could add like a whole Clone Wars twist, because I was a big fan of Clone Wars.
Right.
And I'm also a big fan of clones. I would love to clone myself, because I don't think I'm ever going to be able to reproduce with a woman.
Let me ask you a question. If you cloned yourself, would your clone wear your hat, have your long hair, your glasses?
Daniel, hold on.
Yeah, it would. Actually, I thought about writing a novel and a screenplay based on this concept. I thought about what if in the future you had the reproductive right to clone yourself, because the technology is there today, but most countries have banned cloning. What if you had the reproductive right? I would just train my clone to be me. It would be Chris 2.0. It would be the cloned Chris 2.0. I would train my clone, and then Chris 2.0 would train Chris 3.0.
So
and then
like
200 years from now, you can have Chris 10.0.
Well, question. If you trained your clone to be you, then how could that be an improvement?
Oh, it'd be a lot of improvement because I've learned from a lot of my mistakes.
So then you wouldn't need to clone stuff if you could improve.
Yeah, I would, because it'd be a way of extending my identity and immortality.
Yeah, but you're fucking dead.
He'd be
I
twice
hate
as
this thing
steampunk.
that you're immortal with the clone. Fuck that. Fuck that idea. That's the stupidest idea.
Well,
I hate that
each his
people
own.
do. Fuck
Each
that.
his own.
I mean, I
Each
politely.
is different strokes for different folks. Different strokes for different.
Sorry, I apologize, Chris. I get angry at that idea. You know. That,
Why would you agree?
I'm immortal. It's like you're immortal for
We should have a right to clone ourselves. We should have a right to clone ourselves.
I would like to
I
hear
agree,
John.
but let the clone be its own thing.
I'd like to
Thank
hear.
you.
You know.
Why do you take it personally?
I
don't
take
say
it
everybody.
personally ever since Deep Space Nine, where that guy cloned himself and then killed himself, and then he went to jail for killing his clone. Because clones have rights. That's why. Yeah.
Clones are people too. You know, it's like just like your kids.
I agree.
It's like your kids. So there you go.
Yeah,
Who the hell do you think
it'd be my
you are,
clone.
Chris?
It would be my clone baby. It'd be my clone baby.
Oh.
Then you'd be a dictator.
And that would be the clone daddy. No, it'd be like a clone baby versus clone baby, clone daddy relationship.
Your own mini-me. That's what you want?
Yeah, why not? There we go.
Now, would that clone be staying at? Would that clone be staying at LAX also?
Well, this would be theoretically in the future when things got better.
That never world of the future where things are supposedly going to be all cleared up and we're going to be like Gene Roddenberry. Everyone will be happy and.
You can only hope for the best.
Yeah, but it could be like the next generation.
You can hope for the best, prepare for the worst.
This is the everything show, right?
No, it's not. It's supposed to be the horror cast.
I was gonna say we got a great.
I've really thrown it off course.
We did real quick. We do have a really good topic for like an everything show though, because I would like to expand on why the Roddenberry universe would suck and how terrible idea.
It is debate over the phone.
Please do. I would like to hear that. Because it does.
The crazy hat's coming on.
Ah, nice hat.
Deviance. God damn it, would you stop with that camera?
Hey, guys, you talking about Halloween? You talking about Halloween yet?
Brian's going to be like giving people seizures with that fucking camera going off every couple of seconds.
Yeah, Brian tends to be very distracted when it comes to, It's like he's free to do whatever he wants to do here. Yeah.
Yeah, because no one will ban him from the community over here, apparently.
All right. Anyway. Whoa. Okay.
There's no ex monks over here that would ban him out of that group, apparently. So.
All right. So anyway, the horror cast. Now I think we're going to end this show.
Wait, didn't we talk about Halloween yet?
No. You missed that whole thing.
Well, I just said that this was labeled Friday the 13th.
Oh.
Division. It's not. We're not going into Halloween. I mean, it is a horror cast, but the whole topic was a follow-up from yesterday.
So
that was the whole.
What happens on Halloween with the Halloween movies?
No, we could do a horror cast without a subtitle. But this is subtitled Friday the 13th, so it wouldn't be.
I think maybe a good idea for like a future hardcast would be. I think I'd like to have a conversation with you, Joe, about like where the Halloween franchise kind of lost it.
Yes.
And because you said Halloween was supposed to be like a sequel to number 8, and I kind of hope it is.
Well, we got to wait and talk about it on that show, Dan.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. There's a time and a place, and it's not right now.
Just like there's a time and a place to hide a body.
Yeah, there's a time and place for your medication,
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, gotta fucking happen, man.
Yeah. So, all right. On that, all right. On that note, thank you guys. We're going to do. Well, if Connor wakes up, we will do Real Hoovians. But if not, we'll do the Everything show next. Oh, wait, somebody beat me. All right. Take care. Bye for now.